Guys, it's me, Cody, and today I'm out hunting Chanterelle cibarius, and that's the Golden Chanterelle of eastern Canada and central Ontario. So today I'm out in my beech oak and maple forest. It's a nice mixed woods here, and with Golden Chanterelles in the northeastern US and Canada, you're going to find them with a lot of different hosts. Like they'll grow with hemlock, oak, maple, beech, and several others. But I most commonly find them here with oak and beech. Now out west they tend to grow with hemlock, and sometimes occasionally you'll find them growing with spruce. So chanterelles are kind of interesting. They have a lot of different hosts that they can grow with, a lot of different ectomycorrhizal hosts. And they're a very beautiful mushroom. They're very vibrant. They have decurrent gills, decurrent false gills. The Chanterelles family is very large. There's a lot of different gourmet chanterelles. There's the Horn of Plenty, the Golden Chanterelle, there's cinnabar chanterelles, there's blue chanterelles, and this is a golden chanterelle. So the only bugs that really get into them are the slugs, and occasionally earlier in the season they'll get a beetle larva. But this is Chanterelle cibarius, the golden chanterelle, and if you look you can see the false gills. They're not deep, they're just these little tiny grooves, these ridges. And you can see they're decurrent, they go down the stem. Those are two distinguishing features. There is one lookalike that people often make the mistake of consuming, and that's the jack-o'-lantern mushroom. And the jack-o'-lantern mushroom, as far as I know, hasn't killed anybody, but it will definitely make you sick. I've never tried it myself. But yeah, so look for those decurrent gills going all the way from the cap down the stem, and that very vibrant yellow-orange color on the top. Very meaty, they're very succulent. They're actually my personal favorite. And this one was actually grown with an oak tree. See if I can find you one here on a maple or a beech. Oh, here's one grown with a maple. This one's a little older. That's from last week. Oh, here we go. This is one growing with a maple here too. And you can see this is a nice prime one. Slugs on it there. Sorry, buddy. And so when you go to harvest mushrooms, a lot of people argue that cutting mushrooms at the base is actually the most beneficial way, and that by plucking the mushroom like this, you don't rip it out of the ground and take the root system with it. You pluck and twist at the same time, and the mushroom comes out very easily. Now, my argument is, I'll play the devil's advocate here, unless you're going out into the woods and you're re-sterilizing your knife every time you cut a mushroom, all you're doing is spreading bacteria and other fungi, molds. You're spreading those to the other mushrooms. So if you cut this mushroom off at the base, and it was a contaminated mushroom, or it had a parasitic fungi on it that targets chanterelles, which I have seen, you'd be taking your blade, going to the next one maybe 30, 40 yards away, and spreading that to those ones. Now what happens is, under the ground here, where I just pulled this mushroom out, you can just see right there, that's the mycelium. So if you leave the butt there, I'm a mushroom cultivator, so you're getting this straight. This is the truth behind it. Out of all the mushrooms that I have, almost none of them need to be cut off. The best way to harvest is to pluck, and the mushroom will break off. And that way it leaves the mycelium intact. And if you leave a chunk, so as soon as you harvest this mushroom, the base piece of it might grow back. It might reconvert back into mycelium, but more than likely, because you've cut it, it will die, and more contaminants will be attached right directly to the mycorrhizal mycelium, or mycorrhizal mycelium. And if that happens, you could be, killing off the actual important part of the mushroom, which is the mycelium. The mushroom itself is dispensable or disposable. It's only meant to drop spores, and some would even argue that us harvesting these mushrooms is actually, the mushrooms are using us as a transportation vector for their genetics. So by us eating these mushrooms and actively searching them out, by me picking this up, and right now the wind gently, the air currents gently caressing the underside of these decurring gills, is spreading the spores all the way around the world. These spores could end up in Germany. So spores are so light they can circumnavigate the globe. The other thing is at this point, when a mushroom is fully grown like this and you're going to harvest it, it's already dropped most of the spores that it's ever going to drop in its life anyways. So if you actively pick the mushroom, they've already done their job. Like, there's a whole bunch of people that, you know, want to get their opinion in here, but when it comes down to fact, like, you know, you people don't have your things straight. You got to remember, even myself included, like, as much as we think we understand, there's a whole bunch we don't, and nature always tries to return to a balance, or a state of balance. So we just got to keep rolling with the punches here, guys. You know, don't make claims. You know, even if you do think you're very experienced, you know, almost everybody in this field of biology thinks that they're an expert. And most of you guys have like less than a decade of experience. I've got about 13 years in this field, and you know, I've got a long way to go. So I think we all need to humble ourselves once in a while, and just remember, nature is the puppeteer behind this play. Massive chanterelles, growing with maple. Normally they're not this big, but these ones are like dinner plate sized chanterelles. And you can see the false decurrent gills that go all the way down the stem. And this one's pretty good actually. This one's good enough to keep. So what I'll do now is show you Ontario Chanterelles, Golden Chanterelles. And you can see they're quite large. This one's actually, you can see the small holes in the top. This one's actually been hit by bugs pretty hard. But it's a beautiful sized mushroom, it's huge. I'll probably take this one back to eat myself. And we've got a nice beautiful one here. This one's in good shape. Oh, actually you can see the weevils have gotten into that one too. Chanterelles are always so deceiving because they look perfect, they look beautiful. Well, here we have some golden chanterelles, that's Chanterelle cibarius, and these are perfect specimens. They're growing with beech. And with chanterelles, don't cut them off at the base. Just pick them gently, put the soil back in, and they're all throughout here. And if you pick them properly, this is actually the third flush of the season from this exact spot. So yeah, if you're somebody who's like, oh, you can't pick mushrooms at the base, you're supposed to cut them. Actually, if you cut them with a knife, you're probably just spreading bacteria and pathogens from one mushroom to the next, so you're actually doing more damage. So for chanterelles, you just pluck and twist at the base. I mean, you don't have to pull out huge roots, right? This is fine, that's nothing. So yeah, quit cutting them with knives, you're just spreading stuff. Unless you're sterilizing the knife after every time you cut a mushroom, you're just doing more harm. So smarten up, you scallywags.